Hello everyone, welcome to class series, and in this video we're gonna be discussing our question answers of our chapter The Bird of Happiness. So let's move on to our question answers part. In that our first question is, will I ever make it? Why did Wonjia feel so? The answer of this question is, in the first phase of the journey itself, Wonjia faced insurmountable difficulties. The smooth road had turned into vast creek, and every stone on it was as sharp as a knife. After the first 100 miles, the soles of Wonjia's boots were ripped apart by the stones. After the second 100 miles, his feet were cut to pieces, and after the third 100 miles, his hands were torn to shreds. Since the going was so tough, Wonjia had moments of doubt and he wondered if he would ever make it. Our second question is, what hardships did Wonjia undergo on his way to find the bird? The answer of this question is, there were three phases to his journey, and in every phase, Wonjia's hardship increased. In the first phase, when Wonjia refused to carry out the command of the first monster to kill Losang's mother, the smooth road turned into vast creek and every stone on it was as sharp as a knife. After the first 100 miles, the soles of Wonjia's boots were ripped apart by the stones. After the second 100 miles, his feet were cut to pieces, and after the third 100 miles, his hands were torn to shreds. Since the going was so tough, Wonjia had moments of doubt and he wondered if he would ever make it. In the second phase, when Wonjia refused to obey the second monster command to poison old Gaffer Silong, the monster blew away Wonjia's bread bag and turned the blue mountains and green rivers into a boundless desert with no food to be found anywhere. Wonjia traveled 300 miles without food, with his head reeling and with sharp pain in his guts, as if they were being cut by a knife. This was not all. The last phase of his journey was even worse. When Wonjia refused to carry out the command of the third monster to bring Bhima's eyeballs, the monster gouged out Wonjia's eyeball. The rest of the journey had to be carried out by Wonjia in his blind state. He groped his way with his hands on the ground, yet he continued his journey resolutely in the direction of the sun, as he believed that the bird must be in a place in that direction. All this Wonjia did because he honored his promise to his people, and he remembered the hope of his people that he would take with him the bird of happiness. Our third question is, what changes came over Wonjia as the bird of happiness caressed him? The answer of this question is, as soon as the bird of happiness caressed Wonjia gently, his eyeballs flew back to their sockets, and he could now see much more brightly than before. All his wounds were healed, and he was stronger than ever. Thus magical changes came over Wonjia as the bird of happiness caressed him. Our fourth question is, Wonjia was face to face with three monsters. Each monster had his own wish. Wonjia too had a wish. What contrast do you draw between the wishes of the monster and the wishes of Wonjia? What does the folktale suggest with this contrast? The answer of this question is, the first monster wanted Wonjia to kill Losang's mother. Wonjia refused to obey the monster, saying that he loved his mother and would never kill another person's mother. The second monster wanted Wonjia to poison old Gaffer Silong. After Wonjia reply was in the negative, Wonjia defied the monster in the face, saying that he loved his own grandpa and wouldn't kill the grandfather of another. The third monster wanted Wonjia to bring Bhima's eyeballs if he wanted to see the bird of happiness. Again, Wonjia refused to add that no one had the right to destroy a girl's pretty eyes. Thus, every wicked wish of the monsters was refused by Wonjia. If the monsters represent the destructive element in the world, Vonjia stands for the constructive spirits. This story shows that when one stands for good and what is right, one comes across many obstacles and hardships. But if one has the strength of character and the power of conviction, one can overcome all hurdles and reach one's destination. Our fifth question is, read the paragraph 1, 28 and 29. What do you understand from them about the meaning of real happiness? The answer of this question is, the lesson clearly shows that when one is blessed with the bounty of nature, one will be happy. Happiness is not depicted as the possession of material wealth. In the first paragraph, it is given that the people of the poor area in Tibet suffered from hunger and cold as the place had no rivers or good land, no warmth or fresh flowers, no trees or green grass. In the paragraphs 28 and 29, we see that Vonjia asks for warmth and happiness, forest and flowers, fields and rivers. In the paragraph 29, we see that the bird of happiness gave three cries, and with the first cry, the golden sun broke through the clouds and a warm breeze came down from the sky. At the second cry, stretch upon stretch of forest appeared all over the mountains. Mountain peak and other mountain flowers bloomed together, and thrushes and larks led a chorus of bird song. At the third cry, green rivers and fields came into view, and little white rabbits danced merrily on the grass. After these details, it is also given that the people of the place never suffered hardships again. From all this, it is clear that happiness means being blessed by nature to enjoy the natural pleasures of nature. Our sixth question is, what do you like the most in the story? Support your answer by giving reasons. The answer of this question is, we like Vonjia the most in the story. He was so young to take such a risk. We like his selfless hard work. He did a great task for the benefit of his people. He faced many hardships during his task. He did not care about his life also. To work for others is really a good job. Everyone will appreciate his work. Our seventh question is, read the story, discuss with your partner and fill in the table given below. On the left side, we have three columns. First monster, second monster and third monster. On the upward side, we have two columns, monsters and Vonjia's answer or actions. As you can see on the screen, our first answer will be to kill Loseng's mother. He loved his mother and he never killed other person mothers. To poison old Gaffer Long. He was fond of his grandpa and he never killed other mans. To bring Bhima's eyeballs. No one has the right to destroy a girl's pretty eyes. He never gouged Bhima's eyes. Our last and final question of our chapter is, we want to lead a happy life. What according to you can make us happy? Some ways are suggested below. Think about whether they are practicable or impracticable. Discuss and write them under the two columns appropriately. Option A, work hard to satisfy everybody's wants. B, giving up all selfish desires. C, striking a balance between selfishness and sacrifice. D, working together for the good of all. E, leading a simple, contented life. F, devoting some time of the day for good of others. The answer of this question is, under the heading practicable, the options will be option D, working together for the good of all. Option E, leading a simple, contented life. Option F, devoting some time of the day for the good of others. Under the option impracticable, the options would be option A, working hard to satisfy everybody's wants. Option B, giving up all selfish desires. Option C, striking a balance between selfishness and sacrifice.